What's up, guys? Nozilla. Outside our garage here again. I got a little package in the mail today. It's a GKtech like Undertray for the front of the R32. I know that they had offered these for, I believe, the S chassis and for the 350 and 370Z series of cars, but nothing yet for the R32. So somebody made a post about this last week or the week before, and I figured I'd jump on it and throw this thing down. A little bit of added protection. It's solid aluminum instead of the factory plastic one, and you know, the price was right, so we'll throw it on, and hoping that once the splitter gets in, it'll clear the splitter and everything as well. So let's take a look at this thing. So here she is. Looks really solid. Very thick aluminum there. Not sure how well the camera's going to pick it up, but it looks to be at least 1/8 of an inch thick. Very solid. This thing is certainly could take a pretty good impact. So I'm gonna get the car jacked up and we'll get underneath and we'll see how she attaches and see if I still have any of this hardware, or I'll probably just grab some things out of the bin and mount her up. So I got the Quickjack hooked up to the car. I'm not sure if I've ever done a video before with these things, but they are an absolute lifesaver when you have a low car. I know a lot of you guys probably struggle working on your cars because it's such a pain in the ass to jack it up and get it to a point where you can get underneath it. And sometimes when you're low, it's just a pain getting it up high enough to even get the jacks underneath it so you can do the work. So as you can imagine, that stuff kind of like builds up on you and it makes you put off doing work and upgrades and things. So if you don't have a big garage and you don't have a lot of space, a lot of ceiling height, the Quickjacks are a great solution. I've had these for probably about a year or so now, and in my consideration, they paid for themselves multiple times over. I pulled the engine out using them to keep the height of the front of the car up and down as I was sliding the engine out in the driveway. They're portable, so like I can use them in my garage, roll them out to the driveway, use them in the driveway, take them over to my buddy's house, give them a hand. That's why I like these things. They have their place, and certainly a 2 or 4 post lift absolutely has its place as well, but if you can see, there isn't a lot of space in this garage. My next garage will definitely be a lot bigger, but for now these things have been great. So without further ado, I will show you what it looks like. Alright, so I've taken the time, put the jacks under both sides of the car. They're hooked up, the hydraulic lines. Right now I'm actually using the bottom portions of where my roll cage is bolted in as my jacking points. Comes with this little remote, up, down. So let's make her go up. It's got 2 locking points. We're going to bring it up to the second locking point. That's the second locking point. Now we're going to let it slide back down. Now she's locked in place. And now, as you guys can see, the car is jacked up. And, you know, I haven't measured the exact height that you get, but it's probably somewhere around 20, 22 inches, maybe, you know, approaching close to 2 feet. And it gives you a lot of space to get under the car. You can still get underneath the middle to doing, you know, transmissions, running lines and everything. Here's a look at my rear end. This subframe is going to get dropped at some point soon, probably next winter, I think, and we're going to do new subframe bushings, and we're going to do the welded brackets to support those. But this is full GKtech drop knuckle rear end, drive shaft shop, 1,000 horsepower axles, dual rear calipers, the Sika suspension, custom valve for this application, white line sway bars, can see the aluminum drive shaft back there, and also the T56 with the Tomei Thai Extreme exhaust. We have some lines up here for power steering, a few lines right here, and they fall down the rail and they're all pinched in nice over there with brackets. There's a drive shaft loop up there, and then here's the fuel cell sitting here. So I'm hoping that GKtech gets this diff cover, this extended diff cover up. So I'd like to run that as well. Take a walk around, look under the front. I always like to give her a little shake to make sure she's not going anywhere. All right. So you can see we have the quick release attachments for the front splitter here. Those are professional awesome pieces, and you can see my front wet line sway bar. There's the I think it's the Pro Flow, or no, I'm sorry, Aero Flow 8-liter extended sump, which is going to be going by the wayside for a dry sump setup. And then we have a GKtech front end, and here's my 4-inch downpipe going back. Managed to put a nice little dent in it over there the other day with the Quickjacks because I wasn't paying attention. But she is what she is. Oil filter relocated right there, and we're going to be running a cooler at some point before we get this thing on the track. All right, so I'm going to get down underneath here and see what it's like to install this thing. So look at these mounting points here. I happen to have these studs, so I put studs on either side, and the other mounting points are up in the front here. So I'm going to bring this thing into place and see if we can't get it on. A couple things. The studs didn't work out, mostly because I have the extended sump in the car, which obviously this Undertray is built for like an OEM setup, so like stock sump, etc. So what I'm going to do is the front mounting points fit great, so we're going to use those, and I'm going to use the rears, but I'm going to use longer bolts, and I'm going to make spacers that go in between the pan and the attachment points to give the sump a little bit more clearance. And then I noticed two other things with the sump. My oil drain plug is in a different location as well, so I'm going to make a cut in the Undertray so I can access the oil drain, and then I also have to make another circular hole so that my front screamer pipe has an exit point through the Undertray. So all in all, I can see this thing being absolutely awesome, perfect for OEM, and going to need some modification if you have a modified car. Surprise, surprise. So, all right, I'm gonna do some cutting, and then we'll be back to the install again. All right, so I'm gonna mark this out right here, bring this out over here, screamer exit, and for the oil drain. All right, guys, we got it all installed. Let's take a look what we got. So you can see I got a lot of dirty fingerprints on her, but it's pretty solid. Looks good. This is the hole that I added for the screamer pipe, and this is the opening that I made for the fuel. I'm sorry, for the oil change, so you can access oil. Not my best work, but I was limited on tools today. Same with this. Actually did this with drill bits and a file because my saw blade was not existent. So you can see there's the screamer right there. So, and here's the little spacers I made. So all in all, this thing, well, I like it. It looks good. All the leaves that have blown into my garage. That's a windy day. Let's see what she looks like from down here. Yep. Looks pretty good from down there too. All right, guys. Well, I give it a 2 thumbs up. Little guys helping bring the car down. Is that cool, buddy? Is that cool? Say cheese. Okay, let's let it all the way down, okay? All right.